I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite soul? And thank you, because now it's start time.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace, peace, peace be unto you, and you. It is Saturday. It is 7 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. down on the West Side, and you are tuned into the place to be, the Rockwell Radio Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad that you're with us. I need everybody in the building to do one thing before we say another word. Click that like button, hit that Facebook follow button. If you're watching via YouTube, hit the like, hit the share, because this is the place, this is the time, this is the show. This is the DJ, yours truly, DJ Rockwell, the nation's #1 DJ. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're tuned into the Rockwell Radio Show, and we've got an excellent show tonight. So we want to welcome everybody. Come on in the room. Where you at? We want to shout some folks out, man. As they walk into the room, we want to know who's in the building. We want to know who's in the building with us tonight. So when you come on through, let us know you're in the building. Let us know you stop by. Leave a like, hit a share. This is the place right now, because we've got a conversation that is so near and dear to me. A brother, a guest that is so near and dear to me for reasons that we're going to get into the show tonight. And I'm going to tell you why the show is so important and why this guest is so important. Have you ever had a place in your life, an occasion in your life when you just had to get to a place where you know you wouldn't have made it if it wasn't but for God? If it wasn't for Allah, who appeared to us in the person of Master Father Muhammad, that you know you wouldn't made it. And you know, like I said in a few moments ago in the chat, I said, if it wasn't for him, Big Dave, we just simply we just never would have made it. We never would have made it. This brother tonight is a walking blessing. This is his second time being with us tonight on the Rockwell Radio Show. Who's in the room out here? Who's in the room real quick? Who is this in the room? Miss Reed, welcome to the show. Hit that share button, hit that like button. We welcome you. And y'all know I can't say, I gotta lean over to the screen to see who's there. But this brother is a walking miracle. We're talking about a brother tonight who I said just a moment ago was a guest on our program just a few months ago. A radio veteran, a voiceover actor who's done plenty of work professionally, commercially. DJs across the country are using his voice as their drops. Actor, producer, writer. The brother is talented beyond words. His company, Voice of a Nation, is in high demand across this country. Utilized by this great nation of Islam countless of times. But why is he a miracle? Not because of any of that. Our brother fell ill with COVID-19. And he didn't just fall ill, he went down hard. Our brother touched death's door. But if it wasn't for God, and I say again,
never would have made it.
This brother is a walking miracle because he went to death's door and was told it ain't your time. Not today, not now. But before we get into it, we need some more people to share this program. We need some more people, Big Dave, to hit that share button one more time. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the share, hit the like. And tonight, we want to tell you again and again and again, we are on a subscription drive to reach our first 500. We can't do it without you. And our guest tonight is going to inspire us all to get involved because he's got a message of life, hope, and inspiration. Please welcome back to the Rockwell Radio Show, my brother. And I can't say it no more than that, my brother. Please welcome to the Rockwell Radio Show, my man, Jaye Delai, y'all.
Man, blessings, family.
We talking about Jaye Delai.
Blessings, family.
Come on, man.
Seriously. No. It's a blessing, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother, for having me again. All praise is due to Allah to be here. Truly, I can't tell you how much, after over 30 years of broadcasting, when you asked me to be on the show, brother, I was so excited and I was ready, all day. I've been kind of preparing for this. So, brother, I thank you for having me. DJ Rockwell, I thank you for being a brother. I thank you for always being a true brother in my life. And I truly thank you, brother.
I want to tell the people something as they come on in the room. Come on in the room, y'all. We got Jaye Delai in the building tonight, y'all.
Man, y'all come on, because it's gonna be a beautiful conversation. I'm telling you, this brother and I, it's gonna be a beautiful conversation. Please share the show. Subscribe to his channel, please. Share the show. Come on in. It's just like family. Share the show.
I want to tell the people, Jay, that this conversation that we're going to have tonight is completely unscripted. Anybody who's watched the Rockwell Radio Show before knows without a shadow of a doubt that normally, Jay, my show is very scripted, organized, thought out down to the moment, down to the letter. But Jay is my friend. And I want to talk to Jay with you all like a brother talks to his friend who's been through something. Because he's been through something. And he's said, we talked months ago, Jay, if I can tell them, brother, sure. I want to come on and talk about my experience.
Brother, let's talk about anything you want to talk about tonight, brother. I'm open. Shout out to Sister Letitia. Thank you for joining us, sis. I really appreciate it. Wa alaikum salam.
And we're going to have some guests on, Jay, later in the show. Dr. Akili is with us, and he's on standby. He's going to come on later in the show and bear witness to some of the things that we'll talk about.
Man, so that brother, man,
I can't wait to hear what our brother has to say. But let's start here. How are you right now?
Brother, in all honesty, man, let me tell you something. Everything that ain't perfect gonna be perfect. That's my mindset. That's my mindset. Where am I now, brother? I may be 50 to 60% back to where I was, as the doctors would say. But I am really, brother, when I tell you, people think it's cliche-ish, and it used to be, when hey, how you doing? Oh, fine.
I'm fine,
you take
sir.
that, you take that. Yeah, fine, sir. You take that for granted, brother. Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody put me in a hole, and ain't nobody put dirt in my face.
Let's get that a round of applause right there.
Everything else.
Come on, man.
Everything else I can handle. Truly.
On. Jay, we've been brothers now for probably in excess of 10 plus years.
Absolutely. 10 years.
Jay, you've done radio. I just want to share with the people, again, reiterate your background. You are a veteran radio personality.
Yes, sir.
In the Carolinas, in the Texas area. You've done voiceover acting now for a number of years.
Yes, sir.
You've been in some of the biggest stage plays that have graced this nation.
Yes, sir.
Producer, podcast host, and health challenges brought all of that to a naught nearly overnight.
Yes, sir.
Tonight's conversation, Jay, is going to be about overcoming faith and gratitude. And we're going to get to all of that. But I want to talk about the beginning. I want to talk about first the seriousness of the fact, because here's what the show is not about. We are not here to debate the vaccine.
Not at all.
If that's what y'all want to do out there, but our instructions are clear that we ain't taking it. But if that's what you wish to do, may God be with you. That's what the show is not about. This show is to talk about life, overcoming faith and fear and gratitude. Let's start at the beginning, Brother Jay.
Sure.
I want to talk about the beginning stages when you realized, I don't feel good. Take us there.
It was February 1st of last year. I just started feeling kind of, oh man. By the way, brother, when I tell you, I hardly ever get sick. So it was really strange. I hardly ever get sick. So, brother, when I started feeling, and of course, using my voice, I feel it in my throat most of the time. Mm-hmm. And I started feeling it in my throat. And most of the time, man, I will get the vitamin C, load my system up. But I had been running and I've been working, all hours of the night. You know how I do. I sleep a few hours, but I work and I grind. My motto was, I sleep when I'm dead. Well, that damn near almost got there. So yeah, I just started feeling a little something in my throat, like most people do. And then all of a sudden it just, I think it was me too. It was that, I can beat it. I can get over it. I just take a little something and take this and, load my system with it. And brother, the next thing I know, it just like a bomb dropped.
Wow.
And over a period of time, I thought I could heal it. And that's why I tell people the naturopathic stuff it works as preventative measure. But once the bomb drops and it's there, you might have to go and get a little something extra. And that's something that I didn't do. I thought I could be man enough to handle it and I could take care of it. And next thing I know, Brother Vaughn, I live alone. So, and that's what happens to many people. And I've heard other people's story, in living alone, I didn't realize how sick that I was. And I just got sicker and sicker until I just couldn't move. I could not move. And thank God for, my daughter. Man, I thank God for her, and shout out to Sister Latrice in DC. They looked out for me and they were just like, you need to go to the hospital. And of course, not me.
Let's stop right there for a second. Were you hesitant to go? Obviously by that time, tell me what month of the year is it? This 2020 or was this 21?
This is 21. This is almost a year ago today.
Okay. How about that?
Yes, I was hesitant. And that's something that, man, that hurt me big time. That hurt me because what I didn't know is the time that I waited, it developed into double pneumonia. So I had COVID and double pneumonia and and the underlying symptoms that I had at the time. I had diabetes, and I was always afraid to say it. But that, when I say it took me, brother, it took me on a whirlwind. I've never, boy. So when I got they took me, the ambulance came and got me, and I went to the hospital.
So how are you feeling by that point? By the time you agreed to go, how are you feeling?
I'm going, part of COVID, the worst part of COVID, and people will tell you, is the hallucinations.
Wow.
The hallucinations, my temperature is at point. I think when they picked me up, it was like 104, 105. And I didn't know because I had chills and I was freezing. And, the ambulance, I just vaguely remember seeing, the light, and I knew it was cold. It was cold. That's all I kept feeling. When they took me outside, I was cold. And when I finally agreed to go to the hospital, they took me, and brother, a whole lot of that, I don't remember. I have to be honest and say I don't remember.
I remember a lot.
I know I was so sick. I know I was so sick, brother. Oh my God. It was just, that was the craziest feeling I've ever felt in my life.
And I'm walking us back through this for a reason, Jay, because I want people to understand that this is real. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan told us on July 4th in the Criterion that this is real. This is not a joke. And some of us foolishly just don't believe fat meat greases, as they say.
Yes, sir.
We want to talk about this, to inform people that, hey, that this is going on for real. This is not pretend. And we're going to bring on Brother Dr. Killian just a bit. And again, I didn't prepare any specific questions for our brother, but I'm sure he'll be able to contribute this to your story and bear witness to where we stand as a nation and what we can do to better protect ourselves.
Absolutely.
So let's move forward in the story. Now, obviously, you said you don't remember much, we call hallucinations, but I want to take you a little bit forward. And this is probably the for lack of a better word, Jay, the ugliest part of the conversation, because from here, I want to go up.
Okay. Absolutely.
You began calling people from your hospital bed. I was one of those people you called.
Did I, Brother Vaughn?
Lord, if I cry, y'all don't laugh. I was one of those that you called on your cell phone while you were in the ICU.
Brother, I swear to you, I didn't even remember you telling me that. I remember I was on my phone and I talked to a few people, but brother, I didn't even remember. I didn't even know I called you, Brother Vaughn.
You called Brother Chris in Boston, and you shared with me a few other people who you called out to, a lot of the DJs in the NOI Hip Hop Network. And brother, some of the things you said, I'll never forget, that I probably don't want to repeat here. But
brother,
what
tell it all. We have no. Tell it, brother.
Wow. I'll say this. You heard the minister talk about, quote unquote, deathbed confessions. And no, you didn't make no confessions as such, but you, even though it was you going through the trial, you called people to say, hey, I don't know if I'm gonna make it out of this. And I just want to tell you, I love you, brother. You called us. You could have been calling anybody. Wow. But for whatever reason, I was one of those people on the list that you decided to call. And you began talking about your family. And this is what else you said, Brother Jay. You said, man, I just want the believers to know, and I'll never forget this, that, man, I love Allah. I love the minister. And I just want people to know about me, Brother Vaughn. Tell them that I tried to be the best soldier I could be, the best father I could be. And your breath was escaping from you so fast, and it pained you to talk, but you had to get that out. And it was so hard for me to watch. Tears were rolling down my face as you told this story. Tears rolling down my face, which I'm trying to avoid right now. As you said those words, and then time went by, and no one heard from you. And it was myself. It was Brother John from Memphis. Again, Brother Chris from Boston, asking, has anybody heard from Brother Jay? And days turned to weeks. Phone calls went unanswered. Phone calls went straight to voicemail, and we began to think the worst. Until one day, I got a phone call, and it was Brother Jay on the other end, and his voice was so weak. And it sounded like this. And you had survived the worst of it, brother. And the next thing I know, months later, maybe a month later, Jay, we saw you on Facebook Live giving a real-time update on how you were doing. That's when I knew.
Never would have made it.
That's when I knew that God had chosen you for a specific mission, a specific job. And we're almost to the break, Jay. So I just want to bring people. Do you remember that live you did, that first live?
I remember. I could barely breathe. But
Tell
I
us about that day, that call.
I had so many people that were upset with me because, y'all, I had to go in the cocoon with God. And when I tell you, damn, brother, I'm trying to fight it. I'm trying to fight it. I tell you, man, when Jesus hung on that cross and his words were Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. My God, why hast thou forsaken me?
Yes, sir.
I truly believe until every human being gets to that point, it's so difficult, man. It is so difficult, and I'm striving to make this lighter because part of me is right back there when it happened, and part of me is in the present, so thankful that I made it. But 10 weeks in the hospital, y'all.
10.
There
Not
were days,
weeks.
and I'll tell y'all something, man, that I had the craziest experience, and I'm fighting if I should say this, but I got to tell y'all, when I was in the hospital, I remember the doctor didn't speak much English. And the doctor said the word dialysis because my kidneys were being attacked and my kidneys were failing. I didn't know. I didn't understand. I never had no dialysis in my life. I'm a healthy dude. What are you talking about? Dialysis, man, get away from me. And I remember they said that I was hallucinating and I was fighting the doctor. And all I remember was the doctor grabbed me and he put his hand around my throat. And Vaughn, you know me, you know what that means.
That means, come on.
That means to a brother like me, he's grabbed me around my throat, pushing me back. And and my cousin said, well, he showed you. I was like, no, I'm gonna get him. I gotta get him. He's fighting. And all I could hear is when the minister says, you got one life.
Listen.
Fight like hell for that one life.
Fight like hell to protect it, he said.
But I don't know. But I know I swung at the doctor. And next thing I know, he stuck me with something. And I was out. And I must have been out for a few days because I woke up after that and I was strapped down. And y'all, that's when the craziness started. That's when the craziness started, Brother Vaughn. I just tell you that. And it was just laying there day after day after day. But the process, man, I know we got to go to break coming up, but the process, man, I'll tell you this. When you go from being God, why have you forsaken me? Why? What did I do? Why me? And the anger, excuse me. And it begins to melt away. And you say to yourself, be it the will of God, you say to yourself, man, this is it. This is it. And if this is it, I'm having this conversation with myself. If this is it, is this how you gonna meet God?
Listen.
Pissed off and angry? Or are you gonna, you're tripping, dude. So God, I thank you for ever feeling the sun on my face. I thank you for knowing what love feels like. I thank you for having said I love you. Thank you for having heard I love you. Thank you for me have gone to the beach. I mean, every little thing. Thank you for my children.
Listen.
Thank you for everything. Thank you, man. I had resolved, and this is part of my healing after almost a year, brother, because I felt that even being a soldier, I felt that, damn, I'm not a soldier anymore because I gave up. I gave up. I was resolved to go. But if I was gonna go, I'm gonna thank God for every little thing. And when he sees my face, I was ready to go. I'm thankful I didn't. But if I was,
right.
But if I was, brother, there's no more way that you're ready to go than I was at that time.
I got 1,000 questions, Brother Jay, and you and I have talked numerous of times from then to now. But now I want to start taking the conversation and the spirit up.
Sure.
The reason why we're here. And again, we only got a few moments left before we go to break. And when we go and out on the other side of the break, we're going to do our news segment, and then we're going to bring on Dr. Keeley to talk more in detail.
Sure.
But what I want to talk about first on the upside of the mountain is friends and family. By Allah's grace, you just celebrated a birthday recently.
Yes, sir.
And you just so happened to celebrate that birthday here in Atlanta, Georgia. Big Dave, put that picture up.
Oh, man.
Let's talk quickly about friends and family. Can you tell us who are these beautiful Black people you got on screen right here?
From left to right, that's Dyron Ducati. Then next right there, that's my man Hurricane Dave. Then right there, the small one right there, that is my sister. That's my sister Rosalind. That's right there in Atlanta, Georgia. Next behind her is my man Jerry Smokin' B, legendary, famous radio personality, as well as Hurricane Dave. No, forgive me, that's you, Brother Vaughn. I'm sitting there looking at you. That's you.
How long
I'm sorry. That's from left to right. That's Dyron Ducati. That's you, Brother Vaughn. Sister Rosalind. That's Jerry Smokin' B. Me, and that's one of my best friends from college, Jana Thomas. I love her. That's my girl. That is Hurricane Dave right there, another radio legend. And right there, that is my man Magic. He's another radio legend out of Atlanta. Just a few of my friends got together and said they wanted to do something for me, and just came together and had a little birthday gathering for me, man. And I had I had a ball, man, and I honor every single one of you in that picture. Brother Vaughn, man,
Thanks,
it was
Dave.
a blessing. It was a blessing even to be there and to have you and, to be there with you. I'm Brother Vaughn. Let's do this, brother. I'm there.
So before we go to break, and we're now at that point, you called me on a humbug and you said, Brother Vaughn, I want to celebrate with the people, again, friends and family, to the people who are my real friends. And you said, I didn't want to celebrate it in Houston. I want to hop on a plane. What made you do that?
Brother Vaughn, I lost the ability to walk. And I'm on a walker, y'all. I'm not embarrassed about it. I've had some people that have told me, I put some pictures up when I was in rehab and me going through my rehab. Jay, take those pictures down, man. People don't want to see you in a weakened state. Man, I wouldn't give a damn. I'm alive. I'm alive. I don't care about that. And so, Brother Vaughn, I got across the country, on the other side of the country, by myself.
Come on.
Brother, I hooked a backpack to my back and I had a walker and it was me in the backpack. And damn it, brother, allegorically, all these stories come to mind when you're growing up and you hear about, Jesus when he was asleep in the boat and the boat began to rock, the waters were stormy, and Jesus, oh ye of little faith.
Listen.
Jesus, wake up, help us. What happened to greater things can you do?
Come on.
What happened to greater things can you do?
Talk to us.
Rosie Reed, thank you, baby, for coming in. I really appreciate it.
My man, Apocalypse in the house. Salute.
These things sincerely come to mind, and God is going to try you. You can't be a spiritual coward, man.
Listen, wow.
You cannot be a spiritual coward, brother. Let me tell you something. I had to try it, man. I had to challenge myself, and it was hard as hell. It was hard as hell getting through that airport and walking through that airport a step at a time. But guess what, bro? I did it.
Jay, I was so proud of you. I was so proud of you, my brother.
Never would have made it.
This is DJ Rockwell, the nation's #1 DJ. You are tuned in to the Rockwell Radio Show, and my guest is our brother, Jaye Delai, who never would have made it, and he's here to talk about it. We're about to go to a break, so we will be right back.
This is your brother Willie Muhammad, and I'm asking each and every one of you all to tune into the DJ Rockwell Show, live online. Peace.
Peace. This is your sister Aisha, the mental resurrectionist, hailing out of Baltimore, Maryland. Listen, whenever I'm online, I always tune into the Rockwell Radio Show. It's that hype. It's that dopeness. And you should tune in too. Peace to my brothers David and DJ Rockwell for holding it down, locking it down, giving us those sounds. Love y'all. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sister Latasha Muhammad, and when I'm online, I rock with the Rockwell Radio Show.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button, or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
The time it'll take me to say this is about the same time it'll take to fill this glass with water. But this ain't an ad about H2O. Believe it or not, it's about the so-called hip-hop that's forced on our sons and daughters. They actually believe they've been given a choice, but the truth is that's just an illusion. The glass isn't full yet, so there's still time for this point to be proven. You see, the enemy controls every medium we use to send and receive information. Social media, cable television, Hollywood, and every radio station. Looking for decency from mainstream media? Nope, won't find it there, not a trace. When you turn it on, it's like being fed with a fire hose, toxic waste straight to your face. Imagine that. All this time you've been drinking tainted water from the devil's well, and we wonder why we're sick. All these channels and choices, but every single one of them is giving you the same old ish. So what you giving us, Rockwell? I'm giving you a real choice. Don't get it confused. See this clean glass of water right here? I'll set it next to that dirty one, and then I'll let you choose. 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 We're back. This is DJ Rockwell, the nation's number one DJ. You are tuned in to the Rockwell Radio Show, where the mission meets the music meets the mission, but you're with us either way, and our guest is our brother, Jaye Delai, in the building, all the way from Houston, Mars 45, where they keep it live. Matter of fact, we need everybody to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, and subscribe, because our guest is here to testify and tell a story of survival, a story of faith, and a story of gratitude. But before we go back to our guest, Big J, we got a new segment here at the Rockwell Radio Show. Our producer, Big Dave C, is a spectacular MC.
That's my dude.
Very few people know this, Brother Jay. Dave, in order to promote the nation's number one program, The Final Call, he decided, you know what I can do? I can take the headlines and put them into a rhyme. Nobody
I love it.
Does it like
I love it. Nobody does it.
See, Big Dave, take it to you in the newsroom. Let's go.
Let's go.
This is Big Dave C with your Final Call News headlines on the Rockwell Radio Show. Here we go. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a dreamer? Of course not. His people saw divinity, and so did the enemy. When he turned our people to economic boycott, the enemy went out of his way to make sure he was shot. America versus America, it's been a year since its own citizens attacked the Capitol right here. They beat an officer and called for the hanging of Mike Pence. People are still on edge. The atmosphere is tense. In South Africa, we extend our hearts to you for the passing of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. One thing he wanted most was genuine brotherhood for all races. May he be held in God's graces. As the country unravels, it can take no more. Is America headed for civil war? People hold their breath for a great American tomorrow, but all these things are the beginning of sorrows. Read these stories and more. Truth is vital to all. Go online and subscribe to your Final Call.
Big Dave does it again. Big Dave does it again.
I love it, Big Dave.
The Rockwell Radio Show.
My respects to that cat, man. I love it. Very clever way to deliver the news, man. And I tell you, and I remember when you talk about Final Call Radio and things that came about, and I was asked years ago to help out, and it's an honor and a blessing, man, to be able to help out and to be able to help our nation, man, and do that. And speaking of that, man, it just, boy.
Come on now, brother. Let's bring into the conversation a brother who's been waiting patiently, and a brother that you call friend, and that was there and saw you as you started climbing back up the mountain. And that's going to offer some more information and a perspective of what he saw in you. Please welcome as a guest for the first time on the Rockwell Radio Show, our brother, Dr. Akili Muhammad.
Doc.
What's going on, my brothers? Peace. How y'all doing?
What's happening, soldier?
Man, it's all good, bro.
Look at him. He
Down
always
here
cool.
cold, Macon, Georgia, man.
In Macon, Georgia, Doc always cool. Doc always cool. Except when he lights into me for something that I hadn't done. And you see him. Don't let the light skin fool you, baby. Don't let the light skin fool you. He will get with you.
Oh, he like that, huh? Don't let the DR fool him.
Hey,
brother, it is my first time having to meet you.
If you trust me with your health, man, I gotta keep it real, man. Thank you for having me on the show, bro. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Doc, go ahead, Brother Vaughn. I just want to tell you, hey, this one right here.
Well, matter of fact, this is what we're gonna do. I want you to introduce our brother. I know I can go on, but I want you to reintroduce him because you know a bit more about our brother than I do. So I want you to bring him on again.
This brother has all his degrees Western medicine could offer. Has been a doctor, had his own practice, a well-renowned doctor in this country. But the best thing that I could say about this man is God works through him because he allows him to. Man, when I tell you I can't stand doctors and I did not want to go, doctors and me, And I remember, brother, when I was sick in Atlanta, the first time when my health started really declining, I had been in the hospital the first time for 64 days. And on a whim, I saw this brother and I called him. Dr. Keeley. We didn't know each other. Am I lying, Doc? We didn't know each other really from Adam. We were brothers, but we didn't really know each other. And I saw him do some things online and I said, hey, man, I need you.
Come on.
And I spent my last few dollars and I flew him to Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
And Doc, do you remember? You came. And from there, when I tell you God works through this brother, if you have health issues, to trust a man, to oh my goodness, I can't even explain to y'all. This brother right here, Dr. Akili Graham Muhammad, y'all show him, y'all please, y'all show him love. Give him the round of applause again, man.
Again. Let's hear from you. Obviously, as the brother just stated, he called you on a humbug. Do you remember that phone call?
Absolutely, bro. I had met Brother Jay, I think maybe a month or two prior. He was in Houston, and he and my wife knew each other, and he came by the house, and we chopped it up for a little bit, but I didn't know him. We had no relationship, but when he called me from Atlanta and said he needed me, you can't turn somebody down like that, you know what I'm saying? And at that point in my life, How to Eat to Live had become the reality of my foundation. But as I tell anybody that trusts me and anybody that looks to me to help them, I can sit and talk rhetoric and theory all day long, but it took somebody like him to listen to me, to trust me, and to put what I asked him to do in action. And that's what makes me have some validity, is not necessarily just me, but it's the person that trusts and puts what you say to work and then comes out on the other end with a testimony that can help people all over the world. That's what makes Brother Keeley's name have something to it. It's Allah, the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and then the people that put in the work. I can be a conduit of information, but I'd be nothing if it wasn't for somebody like Brother Jay to put in the work. So, I say that because if it wasn't for the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I probably would be suggesting that y'all get a vaccine.
How about that?
So, that's what I was taught. I fell for the propaganda. I wanted to be a doctor all my life. And so I'm saying that for a very serious reason, that I can't take credit for where Allah has me, but we all need to be patient with each other, because although I look at a lot of physician colleagues of mine, and to be honest with you, I saw somebody's comment just a few minutes ago on Facebook. our brothers and sisters believe in what they learned in this society schools. So did I. And so I can't knock them. I just have to continue to be a good example. If I believe that's what I'm doing, I have to continue to work hard. I have to continue to put things together for people that are in need. And there's going to come a time where the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad will prove to the entire planet Earth that his system of healthcare is better than anything by far.
Yes, sir. And just for the record, for those who are viewing who don't know you, and I've watched you on many programs and many interviews, but some of my viewers here on the Rockwell Radio Show may not be familiar with you. Can you give my viewers just a brief synopsis of your medical background?
Yeah, well, I'm a traditionally trained physician, wanted to be one all my life. I went to Prairie View A&M University near Houston for undergrad, and I went to Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. The HBCU experience, but I have the same training that every other physician in this country has. Did my residency program in Houston, Texas, which is considered the best medical center in the world. And again, I'm not saying these things to pat me on the back. I'm just giving the reality of my training. I have had training at the best of schools and the best of hospitals and the best of medical centers. And it was a career that quickly went south until How to Eat to Live came into the picture. I was pretty much finished with medicine. I was going to get out of it and get into real estate because it just wasn't fulfilling me anymore. But when How to Eat to Live came into my reality, it put the love, the passion, the ability to truly help people. It all came back through the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad in this book, How to Eat to Live, in case somebody doesn't necessarily know.
Yes, sir.
And so once I set out to try to prove the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrong, because I just couldn't believe some of the things I read when I first read the book as a physician.
Right.
And so it's been the last 18 years that I have used How to Eat to Live as the foundation of what I do. And man, you talk about a fulfillment, the fulfillment of what it is that I wanted to do all my life, but also a blessing because this is the avenue that I came to the Nation of Islam and accepting my own and started to become myself as a striving, righteous Muslim. Because I'll be honest with you, when I finished medical school and finished my residency program, I knew I was the man. And couldn't nobody tell me nothing.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? And then when you walk around having gotten to the place where you wanted to get all of your life, and Black people all over Houston and all my family members and anybody I met would just pump me up like I was some great thing. That stuff goes to your head. And, to read How to Eat to Live, it was the first 30 to 35 pages. And I was sitting reading this book. I was like, man, ain't no way this man know more than me. He didn't even finish the 4th grade. I've been in school all my damn life. There ain't no way this man's going to tell me some of this stuff. And that's my attitude when I read the book. I went to my office and started trying to prove him wrong. And here I sit. I was defeated on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Round of applause for Dr. Kelly real quick, y'all. Wow.
Man,
that
that's real.
Story.
That is real.
Let's come back to the now. Let's go back to that phone call. And you get to Jay. What did you find when you got there?
Well, I didn't know Jay very well, right? So I can't speak to what he was prior to that. This is about 12, about 12, 13 years ago. So we have a much, much deeper relationship now. But when I went to Atlanta, my first conclusion was I was dealing with a broken person.
Mm-hmm.
The medical situation was, and I don't mean broken like somebody's going to pick up their stuff and go stand under a bridge.
Sure.
I'm not trying to, right. But Jay was very, very he was in a very deep struggle, and his physical body was just an example of him fighting. Right. It's amazing. Brother Jay and I both have ex-wives named Monica. Both of us have 2 children. Both of us are divorced fathers, right? And so it was that reality that he and I were starting to build from that time I went to Atlanta, where I felt like there were some aspects of his life that where he was going through, where he was broken.
Yes,
and as I was helping him from a medical perspective, I was trying to come up out of that brokenness myself. So this was Allah bringing us together.
Listen.
But long story short, Brother Jay had a wound in his lower back that I literally had my fist in. I was cleaning the inside of his wound like this. I couldn't open my hand, but my hand was like that, and I was cleaning the inside of it. So it was that deep in his back. And the doctors had told him it was going to take 1.5 years to heal that. And they wanted to do surgery to graft some tissue from other parts of his body and put on there so it would heal faster. And so that was one of the questions he asked me. He said, bro, what do you think? They want to do surgery to take some tissue from somewhere. I was like, hey, what does it sound like to you? If you're a diabetic, and we know that diabetics don't heal wounds well, would you want to heal one wound or heal multiple wounds? Because they're going to go put other wounds on your body. He said, well, yeah, it makes sense that we do one. I said, if you listen to me, bro, that wound won't take 1.5 years to heal. And if I'm honest, and Brother Jay's honest, when I first said that, he was like, man, this nigga is tripping. That's the way he looked at me. You know what I'm saying? He looked at me with that look in his face. And I was like, well, I know I believe it. And so, as I said before, I needed him to trust me, to believe in me, and then prove it. And that's what he did. They told him 1.5 years. Jay healed that wound in 4 months.
Come on,
now,
Jay.
all of you have had wounds on your body, right? The wound is healed, but sometimes the skin is still a little discolored. So that's what I mean. In 4 months, Jay healed that wound completely. Now, the outside of the skin hadn't gotten completely back to the normal color of his skin, but from the wound perspective, it was healed in 4 months. And so that's what I mean by I can talk all day. I could start right now, and y'all just go to sleep and let me talk, and I'd be talking tomorrow this time, coming out of How to Eat to Live, because there's so much profound knowledge in that. So without brothers like Jay to put in that work, to sacrifice, because it was not easy. When people come to me, the first thing I tell them, this is not going to be easy, because Allah didn't make ease for us until after the difficulty. So when you have a medical problem, it's going to take difficulty to get to the healing. But if that's where you want to go, you got to go through it. And he did it. He proved it. And he gave me more confidence.
One more second. Okay. We got an incoming phone call.
Okay.
I think you might want to take this phone call.
Okay. We got an incoming call. Uh-oh.
This is DJ Rockwell, and you are live on the Rockwell Radio Show. Who's calling?
Rick Party calling for Jaye Delai.
Oh man,
Rick Party in the building.
Rick Party, man. This is my radio brother, my radio family. Man, this is one of the people. He called me afterwards, man, and he just shared with me, and we shared brotherhood. Rick, how you doing, man?
Brother, I'm good, man. I mean, listen, you calling me radio brother, man. We brothers, man.
Come on.
You right. You right.
Man, we've traveled together, man. We've spent countless hours together on the phone and in person, man, praying, laughing, crying. Come on, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely, we have. When I say, y'all, I can't even explain. And this, I thank you, Rockwell, for even asking me and saluting me, because these brothers that we're talking to, Rick Party, I mean, he's been all over, man. Radio personality. You hear him on ESPN. You hear him all over the place. But the best thing I can say is that's my brother.
Come on now. Come on.
That's my brother, man. Rick, thank you for just reaching out and calling, Rick. And, man, I thank you for honoring me.
Brother, I had to show you some love, man. You have been there for me, man. You've listened to me, as I've listened to you. You've given me sound advice, man. I mean, this is what brotherhood is all about. I don't think we do this enough, and this is what we should do, man. Give one another, their flowers while they're here. You know what I'm saying? So,
come on,
man. Absolutely, man. How's my niece doing?
Bruh. She's 12 years old. Need I say more?
That's it. But I tell you, Man, his family, my family, Rick, I love you, man. Thank you for calling, man. I appreciate you just calling in and y'all, the incredible Rick Party, man.
Brother Rick Party, thank you for calling in, Chief.
Thank you, man. Dr. Akil, DJ Rockwell.
Salute.
Salute to you, man. When I tell you that's another beautiful, beautiful brother, man. I appreciate him. And, you know, while we're sitting here talking, man, somebody else, I would be remiss if I didn't, you know, and Dr. Akili talked about in Atlanta. But then when I got COVID here a year ago, and he came right back and he was real with me again.
And that's the part I want to get to. This is
COVID, man.
For the last couple of moments of the show, if I can. I want Brother Dr. Akili to finish the thought. And we want to go, Brother Dr. Akili, with giving what Jay went through, your perspective of that, and how we can prevent others to getting to where Jay went.
Well, you know, that's a difficult reality right there, bro, because you know, it's just like when we're sitting here and having a conversation tonight. This is the type of information that should be viral. This should be the type of information that everybody should be tuning into. But
come on,
you know, if you got a half butt naked girl like Megan Thee Stallion's latest video, that'll get 85 billion hits, and ours will get a couple of 100,000. That's the problem, is that people don't have the ability to understand where sound advice is coming from. And what do I mean by that? I mean by that you hear these people saying things like, it's not COVID that's taking people out, it's their comorbidities, their underlying medical problems, and then COVID is making those things better and they're dying from those things. That's such a foolish statement. Jay was fighting because COVID was in his system. Jay's kidneys were highly damaged because of COVID. Jay's diabetes got worse because of COVID, and they had to give him steroids. And so that's one of the problems, is that the information that this this information so-called system, the mainstream media, has gotten our people so confused. Like I said, one of the doctors that I just looked at before we came on the show, he literally has no ability to see through what the medical system is giving him to believe, what to think, and what to give to his patients, instead of thinking through the processes and seeing the inconsistencies in what is going on out here. So Jay got in trouble because of what most of us are doing if we get sick. Hey, I want to take care of myself because I don't want to go to the hospital. I'm going to do the best I can to take care of myself. I got to fight. That's all Jay was doing. He was trying to take care of himself because he didn't want to go to the hospital. Why? Because the damn media has inundated us with the idea that the hospital is a horrible place. Death. Right, intubation, get sick, people dying, this and that, and this and that. How in the hell would somebody want to go to a hospital thinking that and seeing that every day? And even if you're not seeing it and you're not hearing it every day, it's all around you, so it still affects you. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Black people, brown people, indigenous people, all people that are looking for a way out, you got to start trying to find quality information so that you can make sound decisions.
Say that again.
Making a decision, whether it's to go to a hospital or what happens in the hospital. If you're making it out of fear, it will turn out wrong. It's just a matter of time.
Come on. Wow.
Man,
didn't I tell you, Rockwell? I told you this brother is amazing. And when he finally, when I survived, and another brother that we're going to talk about, because I tell y'all, and I was ashamed because, like he said, I was fighting like hell. And I got so tired, and a deep breath was, that was a deep breath. Your body just wears, it wears down, and you're relegated to, okay, this is it. this is how I'm going to go out. Your kidneys are just shut down. And it's like Scarface and I had the same thing. And he and I talk all the time, you know, and our kidneys are failing, you know, and you can't walk and you're sick and man, so much stuff. And I'm telling you, I gave up.
That's Scarface from the Ghetto Boys, by the way, for those who don't know.
Absolutely. And
yeah, me and Jay were on the phone about 5 to 10 minutes before the ambulance came to his hospital.
Wow. Wow.
And I told him, I said, Jay, this is one of them type of things, man, where you gotta get help. You gotta get help.
And I didn't want to go to the hospital because, you know, I can heal. I've been there in Atlanta. When I healed myself, I can heal myself. And I was fighting like hell. But man, I'm telling you, with this COVID, yo, you cannot take this lightly, man. That stuff, it wiped me out. And as I tell you, is our other brother on the line?
Not yet. Matter of fact, that's a great segue to open the line. David, go ahead and put the phone number on the screen, that overlay, while all of us are here. What we're going to do is open up the phone line so people can call. We want to hear from you. Our brother was almost not here. And we wanted to bring brother on to give him his flowers because he's still here. So for those of you who know Jay, don't know Jay, and meeting him for the first time today, if you just want to call in and this is what this is all about, is showing each other love while we can.
That's right.
Because some of us don't make it. We've laid to rest so many people in the last 18 months.
Yes.
The last 2 years.
Yo, man.
And we don't take advantage of the opportunity to stop, call, say, brother, I love you.
That's right.
So
I've had to call both of you brothers and tell you, man, when I say I love you, brother, I mean it. When you get down and let me tell y'all, man, let me tell y'all something from the other side.
Come on.
People think death is bad. I was out. Death, man, I'm telling you, that's some of the best sleep I got. Some of the best sleep I got. But y'all, the hard part is, I wasn't worried about me. I was worried about my babies.
Come on, Jay, let's go to the phone line real quick, Brother Jay.
Okay.
This is DJ Rockwell. You tune into the Rockwell Radio Show. Who am I speaking with?
This is our brother from Muhammad.
That's Brother Christopher. Brother Christopher.
Christo Flex. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Well, alaikum salam.
The floor is yours, Brother Christo Flex.
Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. Just happy to be here and take part of this. You know, me and Brother Jay met. I'm getting a delay here. Take these headphones off. So we met on the Ramadan prayer line.
Yes, sir.
And you know, it was a situation that was a blessing in disguise that happened. I won't get into the situation, but you know, ever since then, you know, we've been doing things together, rocking. So when Brother Jay got COVID, you know, I was like, you know, we got to fight this because we got some things to do.
Come on.
Know, and all praise is due to Allah. He's better now, and you know, we got a mission to accomplish.
Facts.
So,
come on.
You know, and it's a lesson for me too, because you know, I got some, you know, challenges that I need to overcome in terms of my eating and stuff like that. So it's definitely a wake up call, and I haven't completely woken up yet.
Come on, brother.
But, you know,
Just keep fighting, Brother Chris. You keep fighting. This brother right here, this brother, man, I love you, Brother Chris. Thank you, and I'll hit you after the show, brother. That brother right there, man.
Yes, sir.
I had my equipment for my studio and everything, and I was too weak.
Next caller, hold on. Next caller.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Keep talking.
No,
Next caller.
You know, I was just too weak, and I had a desire to. It was just ridiculous. I had no energy, and that brother came and flew from Boston down here to Houston.
Come on, Christopher.
And put my studio together for me. That's brotherhood, man. He put my studio together for me, man.
I'll say something real quick.
I want to have that caller call back that just called that they couldn't get in. Go ahead, there, brother doctor.
Well, I just want to say this. For all of you that have a comorbidity, a medical problem, or something that just doesn't allow you to think that your health is 100%, you've had approximately 2 years to get it better. And that's not a knock on anybody that hasn't gotten to their goals. We have no idea how long this pandemic is going to be. Make up your mind that you will come out of this better than you came into it. It's time for us to put our health second to the God that you serve. Because if this has been nothing else, it should be a wake-up call that having poor health will not get you through.
And that's real, man. I wanted to tell y'all and express to y'all just how deep it was. And the brother we were waiting on the call, I didn't want anybody to think that Brother Jay was embellishing, that Brother Jay wasn't telling the story. But as I said, I gave up. I was gone, brother. And the only thing that gave me the strength to fight, I am never ashamed to say that. Is that him?
Let's take this call. This is DJ Rockwell. You're live on the Rockwell Radio Show. With whom am I speaking?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
Brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad.
My brother, dude,
my brother
in the building.
Yes, sir.
All praises due to Allah. I am thoroughly enjoying my brothers.
When I tell you, man, I love you, brother. I love you.
Come on.
I love you. I love you. This brother right here, man, for those, Brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad, he and I do the podcast for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Teachings 2.0.
Yes, sir.
But even greater than that, man, I've known this cat since he was a youngster, man.
He told me. I was like, wow, really?
Man, let me tell you, his spirit has always been, we always been tight. Y'all, I shared earlier, and I said this, and I want to really, I'm not embarrassed to share that this is the part of the show that I really wanted to share.
Come on now.
Brothers, and God help me.
Take your time, bro, Jay.
I did. I'm not playing. I gave up. But I got a phone call. You said I was making phone calls. The one phone call I remember making was to this brother, to Abdul Qiyam. And I told him, I remember saying to him, brother, you're the closest thing to me, because we were doing the podcast and stuff like that, and we were in close contact. And I said, brother, I'll let him share, because I don't want anybody to think I'm embellishing. Brother, what was that conversation like when I called you?
The floor is yours. Tell us about that phone call.
Yes, sir. You know, I want to say all praises due to Allah. Indeed, our brother here is a miracle. And I want to thank Allah God, and I thank Dr. Akili and everybody, his daughter, his family that aided in this. But I have to get on this witness, and as my brothers called me for. You know, last February, we had that big freeze here, DJ.
Yes, sir.
And we didn't have power in Houston, and we had snow here, which is very unusual, of course. And brother, I had went to sleep with my family because we was in one spot in the home that was heated. What happened, I had woke up in the middle of the night. I had a missed call from Jay. And so when I called him back, I had never heard my brother's voice, who has made a living with the most dynamic voice I've ever heard.
Right.
I had never heard him like that. And he could barely breathe. And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know he was in the hospital or anything. And all he kept telling me was, he said, brother, I just called to tell you I love you. And he's trying to breathe. And he said, man, I just feel death all around me. And I said, what's going on, brother? He said, man, I'm in this hospital. But he said, I just wanted to let you know, brother, you're going to have to tell my story.
Wow.
And I said, what are you talking about? He said, you got to tell my story, brother. And I have to tell you all, in that moment, I heard our brother was saying he was dying. And so my mind shifted to what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us. That if you go to the bedside of someone that's sick and you speak the right word in their ear, within 8 minutes and 20 seconds, you will see life coming to that person.
Come on, man.
Well, in that moment, while I was holding back tears, all praises due to Allah, while I'm holding back tears and I'm frightened, honestly shaking, I'm surprised. We're in the midst of this freeze. This caught me off guard. I literally shut Jay up and I said, "Hey, no, sir, brother. You got a lot more living to do. Allah got something for you, something more for you to do." I said, "No, sir, brother." I started yelling at him and he shut up. I did not want to hear that, so I started changing the conversation. I said, whatever it is, I didn't know what was going on. Allah is going to bring you through it, dear brother. And I ended the call and told him, I look forward to Allah willing talking to you when you get out of the hospital, brother. I said, no, sir, you're going to tell your story. And after that, like you, all praise to Allah.
Come on, man.
No, DJ, I was like you all. Bad in Houston. I'm trying to call Jay. It's going to voicemail. Now I'm concerned. Nobody's saying nothing. And so finally, I was able to talk to our brother Warwick, his cousin. And he started getting updates on it. But Brother Darnell, his cousin, they didn't even know he was in the hospital. So it was many of us didn't even know he was there. And so fast forward, turning point, Louis Farrakhan called me. Didn't actually know that we were in the middle of a freeze here in Houston. So he was just calling, talking to me about work as normal. And I let him know how the freeze was happening. We were actually didn't even have lights when the minister called. And he was praying and asked me how were the believers. And so how I am with the minister quickly is when he's in a joyous spirit, I reserve giving him bad news.
How about that?
However, though, because I know how much he loves and adores Brother Jay and what he does in his service, even more the minister has fallen in love with brother through this Teaching 2.0 podcast. I knew I was obligated to let the minister know about Jay. And just so happened, Dr. Akili, before the minister gets off the phone, he said, and my brother with that voice, how's he doing?
Ask about him. Wow.
About him. And I said, oh, Brother Minister, and I let him know. By that time, I found out about dialysis. I let him know what happened with Jay. I gave him the phone. I told him the phone conversation. The minister got completely silent on the phone, brother. And he said this to me. Brother, that disturbs me.
I had to stop the music on that one. Go ahead.
He said, that disturbs me. He said, well, you tell brother that I'm stopping my dinner into prayer for him right now.
Wow.
Allah I said, yes, sir. Allahu Akbar. And I wasn't able to reach Jay, but I shared it with Brother Ward. And I said, Brother Ward, if you talk to Brother Jay, tell him in his ear that the Messiah said he's praying for him.
Listen.
And I said, tell his daughter, tell his son, tell the whole family that the minister is praying for him. You know, by Allah's grace, we here on the DJ Rockwell Show.
Praise be to Allah.
Come on, man.
Allahu Akbar.
All praise be to Allah. Come on now.
And let me say this last part, Jay. The truth of it is this.
Come on, man.
Brother Jay did not readily remember that he called me. Until later, he was recovering. To myself, because I was still hit hard in the heart about that because I had never heard him sound like that. And we were having a talk, and I said, yeah, brother, that's why I fussed at you on the phone. He said, when you fussed at me?
I didn't remember.
When you called me to the hospital, he didn't remember that he called me. That's how I knew, because I told my wife that. I said, Jay wasn't even conscious when he was talking to me. I could tell.
Wow.
And so when I reminded him that he called me, we both broke down on the phone. It wasn't until way later that I told him that conversation. I had been holding it because I wanted to see and monitor his recovery, and I didn't want to drop that, but at a certain point I did. So I just want to let those that are listening, Dr. Keely is right. You can read all the books you want and quote and all that type of stuff. But what you're listening to and you're watching here, this is the real walking miracle of Allah right here.
Listen.
This ain't a game. And I am a witness, and Allah allowing me to talk to him during that moment so I can get on the witness stand right along with Dr. Akila and others to let you all know that our God is real.
That's right.
And he doesn't stop intervening in our lives, brothers and sisters. So
That's right.
I love you, Brother Jay. May Allah continue to bless you and your family and your children, brother. And that's why you know I'm joyous.
Come on.
I'm very happy to see our brother.
Man, I'm so thankful. I thank you, brother. And I thank you for reminding me of that phone call. That is how I remembered calling him. One of the only phone calls when he reminded me. And I was like, I think I did. And that is it, man. And I wanted to share this. And when you talk to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you thank him so much again for me. You thank that man for me.
Come on.
Because his prayers and everything. And then finally, I want to say this, and Dr. Akili and I, and with my brother Abdul Qiyam and you, Rockwell, sitting here, my birthday was November 30th of last year. And 1 week before my birthday, I'm going to tell y'all the majesty and the incredible grace of God. Listen to me, people. This is what I wanted to tell y'all about. If I don't tell you anything else in this podcast, I want to tell you about faith.
Listen.
I've been to death, I've been to hell, and he brought me back. But listen to me, the hell that I've been through, man, it pales in comparison that a week before my birthday, the second time, Dr. Akili will tell you what the first doctor said, but the second doctor, he comes to me, what the hell are you doing? I said, what? What are you talking about?
Come on.
I'm sitting in dialysis with them filtering my blood. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he just comes up to me, what the hell are you doing? And I said, what are you talking about? And the doctor looked at me, he said, I've got your labs and I'm looking at your labs, your blood work since you come in here. And I'm like, okay, what? And he's like, look at this. And he said, I thought it was a mistake and I had them run it again. He said, you've been suffering with diabetes for over 20 years, right? I said, yes. He said, I've looked at your old labs and tests. And he said, what in the hell are you doing? And I said, again, what are you talking about? And the doctor told me, he says, you have no more diabetes.
Come on, man. Come on.
Y'all, when you go through hell, as they say, you go through hell to get to heaven. Your faith, man, keep your faith, y'all. Keep your faith. I always tell, and all three of these brothers on the phone know, the greatest words of any song to me was Prince. When Prince said, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if that somebody was me?
They didn't hear that, Jay.
Would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if that somebody was me? And I attribute that. If you go to God and God said, I allowed it, son. I allowed that to happen. So wait a minute, God. Everything that I've been through, you allowed it to happen because there's a greater good in it. Me going through everything I went through to actually sit here and say, I no longer have diabetes. Don't tell me that God isn't real.
Come on, man. Come on.
Don't tell me that God is not real, brothers and sisters. And even on the rewind, when y'all hear this or see this podcast, I'm telling you, in the midst of this pandemic, hold on to your faith.
Say it.
Hold on to your faith. Those, I'm telling you, I'm gonna lose my job. They're making me take the vaccine. They're making me hold on to your faith. Hold on to your faith, brothers.
Come on, man.
I just want to thank you, Brother Abdul Qiyam, for being my brother, for loving me, for being my friend and my brother. And I can't thank you enough. And I pray that when you talk to the minister, Tell him that his little brother loves him. Please.
Yes, sir. You already know. Inshallah, I'm blessed to speak with our Father again. You know I'm going to pass on your message, and I want everybody to know every update that I receive from Brother Jay to me, I've given our beloved minister that update, including how the doctors marvel, Dr. Akili, over our brother's progress. And it has definitely warmed the heart of our beloved minister to know that our brother has been healed and is healing by Allah's grace.
Yes, sir.
Love you too, my brother.
Brothers and sisters.
DJ. Love you, Dr. Akili.
Hey, my brother, I do Kia, man. Miles 45. Thank you, black man.
Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters, that's our brother, our big brother, Abdul Qiyam Muhammad.
Hey, can I make a little comment real quick, if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
Hey, you know, Brother Jay called me a couple of times, and again, he was speaking from his heart, from his mind, from his soul.
Yes, sir.
Because there were some things that, like everybody else is saying, that he shared that he didn't remember. One of the things that I remember clearly was Jay was fighting these doctors, man. He was going in on these doctors, man, right? He cursed them out, telling them, "No, hell no, I'm doing such. And I was like, Jay, man, you're going to have to chill that out, bro. These people are offended by you not accepting what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, Brother Jay and I always talk about how these live. But I'm saying that, in a funny way to say, brothers and sisters, that when you are in a condition where you need to go to the hospital, this is not something that we need to be embarrassed about. It's a reality of what we're living. But the key to Jay is that because of his experience before in healing, he wasn't satisfied with just being treated. And that's what I want everybody to think, is at the end of the day, when you believe in God, the impossible is something that you look forward to proving.
Come on, man.
Not just giving in to what somebody tells you and you let them be in control. When you believe in God, God is in control. And Jay's mind, even when he was not clear, because he wasn't clear a couple of times when I talked to him, but even in that state of mind, he still believed. He still believed in Master Father Muhammad. He still believed in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He still spoke highly of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so anybody that's listening that may not be a member of the Nation of Islam, I didn't make that statement for you to say you believe in Master Father Muhammad, but whoever you believe in, whatever the name is, go through what you go through believing that you're going to come out on the other side. There is no other way. When you read How to Eat to Live, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talks about good thoughts. He said you can fast, you can eat 1 meal a day, you can do this and you can do that, but it will be for naught if you don't have good thoughts. And to me, that's one of the main reasons why Jay is here today to speak to us, is because the faith was in him even when his mind wasn't totally clear. And so if there's nothing else that we learn, find a way to truly believe in what comes out of your mouth, and it will serve you in a time where you might not even realize it.
Man, when I tell you, Doc, I thank you, because I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, the power of your mind. I was embarrassed. Like I said, I was embarrassed that I gave up. I got to where I gave up, y'all. But when my cousin called and they put the phone to my ear and they told me that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was praying for me right now at his dinner table, y'all, it just, if he believes in me,
come on now,
and he believes in the God in me, who the hell am I to not believe in myself? And I started fighting, y'all. I can remember at that very second, I started fighting, and I couldn't take a half of a breath. And I remember I just started fighting myself and trying to take more of a deep breath and just fighting myself until I came back. And it was so funny. If I may say this, I woke up and I asked the nurse, do y'all know when I was out and I woke up, all I heard was code blue, code blue. I could hear code blue, code blue in my head. And that's the first thing I asked her, what is code blue? What does code blue mean? And she dropped her head and she said, that's people timing out. What does that mean? She said, that's people dying. I swear to y'all, I'm not crazy. Y'all know I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy.
Yeah, not that crazy. Come on, man.
That's where I swear to you, I had the vision of the death angel walking down the hallway of the hospital, and he was touching doors. And he got to my door and he looked in and kept walking.
Not today.
And
not today. Hold on. Wait.
Hey, let me say, if you don't mind, I'd like to say one other thing. It speaks to that reality. My brother had COVID at the beginning of 21. He was in the hospital for 9 days. My brother and I have a very similar countenance when it comes to our confidence. So when he went into the hospital, he was confident that he was going to make it out. But being in that hospital and listening to Cold Blue, now, he knew what it meant. Jay may not have known, but my brother knew what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked to me when he got out about going to sleep at night for the very little time that he did sleep, and would wake up and see the room that he saw somebody across the way, and it was now empty. Look another way. Somebody there, go to sleep, wake up. The room is empty. And he, in his conscious mind, couldn't come to a recollection. Did that person leave because they got better, or did they die?
Wow.
So I'm saying this, brothers and sisters, because what I said a few minutes ago, I'm not just talking about no words. I'm talking about the reality of faith. You have to have something to go through when you're fighting like this. Brother Jay was fighting the doctors, but he couldn't even fight to breathe.
Listen.
So there's a reality to fighting, but you can't be a champion without opposition. That's what the minister have been talking about, right? You in the gym, you shadow boxing, you look good to the mud cutter. But get into a real fight and then get your behind knocked out in the first round, that's lack of faith. And that, to me, is my testimony about Jay, because that's what he did.
Come on, man.
He was fighting, and he was talking the reality that was coming out of his soul. And that's what comforted me, is that if a man talks to you the second time and you're sitting there, he said, man, I don't even remember saying that. Yeah, well, that's what you said, bro.
That's what you said.
And there's a foundation of faith that was undergirding, even when Jay says he gave up. I remember when he said things that made me think he was going in that direction.
Right. Same here.
You know, and so, I mean, we were on the phone. I was talking to him. I was like, look, bro, it ain't never no man's reality to give up. Not these men.
Right.
No, sir.
Right.
No, you can't go down that road and think that way, because so as a man thinketh, so is he. Right. The other scripture that came to my mind while you were talking, Jay, was, why was that man born blind? His mother sinned. Did his father sin? Did he sin? No, he was born blind to show the works of the God that we serve.
Listen.
So Jay got work to do, bro, as we talk all the time, man. After he comes out of this dialysis, yeah, that's impossible, but keep watching. When he comes out of this dialysis, he has 2 stories to tell on how he healed what the medical industry felt was incurable.
Wow. Come on, bro. We are tuned in right now. You are tuned in, rather, to the Rockwell Radio Show. My name is DJ Rockwell. This is the Rockwell Radio Show. My guests tonight are the amazing walking miracle, Brother Jaye Delai and Dr. Achilles Muhammad. I am so happy. We are now, almost 28 minutes overtime. But Jay, you knew.
I'm sorry, brother. I told you, brother. I'm gonna. This is the first time that I've really been on publicly, and I'm gonna share my story with my brothers, because this ain't about me. It's like other radio jobs I've been offered. I don't give a damn about being on the radio and, hey, we're popping it and kicking it and we're shit. I wouldn't give a damn. And I'm saying this publicly. If you would call and offer me a radio job and that's what you wanted me to do, keep your damn job. I have a job. I remember, y'all, be careful what you pray for.
Come on.
Be careful what you pray for. I asked God when I left Atlanta, God used me to show the world what impossible looks like. Use me to show the world what impossible looks like. You better be careful what you ask God for, because I'll be damned if you don't get it.
Come on, man. Come on. Wow. We want to make one last appeal before we start winding up. We're going to start trying to land this plane, brothers. We want to have everyone go right now. If you have not done so, take your finger and hit that like button.
Please hit the like button.
Your finger again, not the middle one, but this one. and
hit that subscribe button.
And that subscribe button. This is the Rockwell Radio Show. We're shooting for our next benchmark of 500 subscribers, and we can't do it without you. As you see what this programming is about, this is not just a regular podcast, but a power podcast. And we want to help people. And this message that our brother Jaye Delai is delivering tonight is doing just that. Jay, the last word of the show is on you.
Dear brothers and sisters, let me say something to you, and I mean this. This ain't no damn dress rehearsal. This is real life. And I beg of you, those things that you have been yearning, desiring, God has given you the inspiration to do, go do it. Go do it, brothers and sisters. Go do it. God is so real. He is so absolutely real. And when I'm back running again, I'm going to show y'all. I'm on a walker, but I'm going to run again.
Come on.
I'm just telling you, brothers and sisters. And if I may, in my last words, I'm telling you, he's very humble about it. But that man, Dr. Akili Graham Muhammad right there, Dr. Akili, if you'll do me one favor, please give them your phone number, give out your phone number.
Please.
Because dear brother, there's somebody right now that knows. And I'm telling you, this path, Doc was real with me. He said it may get harder before it gets easier. I had lumps in my throat and I was afraid. Y'all, I had a wound in my back, 9.5 inches long and 6.5 inches deep, halfway through me. The man said he put his hand in my back.
Wow.
But how to eat to live, I healed it. God gave me the ability to heal it. It's real, brothers and sisters. I don't care what situation you're in. Go to work. Try God. Because Brother Vaughn, hit the button. Because I promise you, if it wasn't for God, I
never would have made it.
Come on.
That's the God's honest truth. I thank each and every one of you that took the time to listen to your brother, to hear, to share the story. I promise you, y'all, learning to, when you overcome death, there was 2 things that I feared in my life. I used to hate being by myself. So I always had brothers and sisters or an entourage around me. The second thing, I feared death. I feared death because I hadn't taken my children and taken their hands and put their hands in God's hands.
Listen.
And I felt, oh my God, I can't die. I haven't done all my job, haven't done it all yet. And sure enough. And lastly, as I close, brothers and sisters that are parents, hear me well when I say this. I told my son and my daughters, the most precious thing to me in my life under God. I told my children, I said, look, I said, I've heard the inspiration of God and I shirked my duty in telling you, thus saith the Lord, because I didn't want you to separate yourself from me because, oh Lord, dad go, he teaching again. I ain't going around dad. I ain't going to go. And I feared that. But I told my children on my birthday, let me tell y'all something. And Akili knows how I feel about my babies. But I told him, I said, if I don't ever talk to you again, if I don't ever see you again,
come on.
God is sufficient for you.
Listen.
And he's sufficient for me. and you're going to be okay. But I'm going to do what the Creator asked me to do from this point forward. And it ain't no spooky religious thing. It's just, I know God. I know God, and he's blessed me to know him for real. So I thank you, Rockwell. I thank you. I thank you, Akili, brother to brother. I thank you for wiping my tears. I thank you for rekindling faith when I seemingly lost it, when it was nobody but you and me in that hospital room. When there was nobody but you and I sitting there and you had to clean my wounds.
Listen.
I thank you, brother, from the depths of my soul for being my friend and my brother. And I thank you both for being an instrument of God in my life. And I mean that. Thank you, Rockwell. God bless y'all, man.
Love you too, bro.
Dr. Keeling, your information before we go.
Yeah, so if you're interested in reaching out, the telephone number is 832-429-4576. Again, 832-429-4576. And
Big Dave, if you can put that in the chat so people can get that information. Say it one more time, Doc.
832-429-4576. And I am now on a Black-owned streaming company called blackstream.live. My thing would be blackstream.live/TUWG/Tuesday if you're interested in my podcast and learning a little more about health through the lens of how to eat to live. So I pray that everybody got something tonight. I pray that you work hard for your health, and I pray that you own, work, and get the reality of coming out of this pandemic better than you went into it.
Come on, man.
Brothers, I thank you. Jay, we love you. Dr. Akili, we honor you.
Thank you.
And tonight, I think our mission was accomplished, is to show that if we love somebody, we sure enough better say it.
Absolutely, because you never know when it's the last time you'll see that person. I'll say it one more time. I love you, DJ Rockwell, and I love you, Dr. Akili.
I love you too, bro. Man. And we have to start making sure that our actions say love as much as our mouths do.
Come on, man. That part. Good Lord, man.
Brothers and sisters, we thank y'all for joining us. This is DJ Rockwell. You've been tuned into the Rockwell Radio Show. We're here every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. We thank Big Dave, our producer.
Absolutely, Big Dave. Big Dave, call me so we can do work, brother.
Come on now. And next week, right here on the Rockwell Radio Show, is our brother, Student Minister Demetric Muhammad, talking about what's going on in Tennessee with Young Dolph and the violence in hip hop and what we're going to do about it. So we will see you next week right here live on the Rockwell Radio Show. We are out of here.
Peace.
I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite soul?